P-A-S-C-A-L. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild. Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. You know, I haven't done a live in a couple days, and I really wish I was doing a different live right now. I'm going to be honest, because we are here to discuss this really sad update in this brand new case that just came out just a few days ago. And now we have this very sad information, very sad update, guys. And of course, I know some of you guys don't know everything about this case, so I'm going to give you guys as much information as I can. I don't know if they're going to be doing a press conference very soon. If they are, we'll talk about it. We'll watch it with ourselves, you know. But nonetheless, this is all sad news. So please do me a favor before we get into everything, okay? Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms, make sure you're hitting that follow button. Follow. Please and thank you, okay? If you're on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, show some love. Make sure you are following, all right? Make sure you're subscribed here on my YouTube channel. Check out my other YouTube channels. I got two other ones, The Pascal Show Clips and Pascal Raw. Go and check those out. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell as well. Hit that join button down below. Become a member, okay? Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out pascalmerch.com, okay? pascalmerch.com. Okay, guys. We have got to get into this. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We have some not so great news, guys. And I wish I was coming on to a live show with you guys, after a few days off, to talk to you guys about something more on a positive or on a lighter subject, or to bring you guys some good news. But unfortunately, I'm coming to you guys with some bad news. Now, if you don't know the story or the case of Liam King is 7 years old. He is an autistic boy. He went missing on Sunday morning. Of course, authorities, volunteers, everybody, the neighbors, the townsfolk, if that's even the right kind of phrase. They went and they were going and stopping at nothing, trying to find this 7-year-old boy. Now, of course, this is a boy who has autism. He was nonverbal as well. And they were basically giving a lot of people heads up, like, hey, just so you know, he is nonverbal. He may be confused. If you do run into him, don't just run up and try and approach him. He might run away. They've been looking. And they've been doing everything they can to find this baby boy. And of course, we're going to take a little bit of a trip down memory lane, because I know that I did some videos about this case. But of course, not everybody watched those things, right? So you may not be fully vetted on this case. So we will be talking about, we will be taking a few steps backwards and going through the timeline real quick, because it is a short timeline. They were able to find him fairly quickly. And so I do have some not so great news. But before I do that, of course, I want to be able to share with you guys. Let me see if I can do this instead. This young boy's face. His name is Liam King, 7 years old, like I said. Nonverbal, autistic. Okay. He went missing on Sunday, Oh, and he was apparently police were notified around 11 a.m. this past Sunday that this boy went missing. And apparently he was outside. That's where he was last seen. And I guess he was at a family member's home, not his parents' home, but a family member's home. And then I guess he wandered off. That's still the possibility here, guys, which it is the strong possibility here. Okay. He wandered off. Now, police, like I said, have been trying to find this young boy. They've been using dogs, drones, helicopters, locals as well, men on horseback looking for this young boy. Now, again, you already see the title above or down below, wherever you're watching this show. So I do have some not so great news. This little kid was found gone. Now, they drained a pond that was nearby. And apparently this little kid had a fascination with water. And we've heard this kind of case before. We've heard this before. We covered another one about a year ago where there was a little boy playing outside in the front lawn of his home. The parent that was watching that little boy ran back inside to get something really quick, came back outside, and that little boy was gone. And that kid also had a fascination with water. And they lived right next to a raging river. And of course, that baby boy was found. So now we're hearing the same kind of scenario. Liam King had a fascination with water, and now he was found in a pond. After they drained the pond, they found that little boy in the pond. Now, again, like I said, I wish I wasn't coming to you guys with such bad news. I wish we could be here, cracking up and having a great time right now, right? But unfortunately, that's not where we're at right now. So let's get into this, okay, guys? And don't worry, I'm going to give you guys the information now, the breaking news, and then we're going to take a step backwards, okay? Because there's a lot that, they've been doing countless hours of work searching for this little kid, okay? So I do want to talk to you guys about that, share that with information with you guys, because without local law enforcement doing what they do, and also the people of that town in Randolph County, if they weren't doing what they did, this baby boy would not be found. So again, of course, without their diligent work, without them doing what they do, the mystery would still be lingering over all of our heads, which is, where is this little boy? So, of course, I want to, real quick, haven't done a sound effect in a minute. Okay. This applause is to all that were involved, all the local authorities, to all the people, the neighbors, the neighborhood. People went out of their way, rolled up their sleeves, got boots on the ground, and just started combing every stitch of the woods trying to find this kid. Like I said, it takes a village to raise these kids, and it takes a village to find these kids when they go missing. So I do appreciate them doing what they did. Real talk. And yeah, Bernice, I can't stress it enough. There are way too many. I'm not kidding. As I'm getting prepared to do some videos about another insane, heartbreaking case, I find out about this update. And then another case. They don't stop. Okay. They just don't stop. Now, of course, they will most likely be doing a deep dive into the cause of demise here. And it could very well be just what it is. He had a fascination with water. He may have gotten too close to the water, slipped and fell, and of course, bad things happened, right? Or something sinister could have happened. But we do not know that. We don't have that information yet. So because I know everybody has their speculation, tinfoil hats on, okay? And it can't just be a tragic situation where a kid falls into a lake or a pond or a big body of water, but it could very well just be that too. So before we go off the rails here, right? Let's wait and see what police have to say after they do their due diligence, right? Now, I just saw in the chat they said something about there being a press conference at around 2 p.m. And that's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if I'm correct. So that'll be in about an hour. Okay, so we'll stay on. Okay, we will stay on to discuss and hear what the heck is going on here. Okay. It's heartbreaking. Nonetheless, let's get into this article. And like I said, we're going to take a little trip down memory lane. We're going to go through all that stuff. We may cover a few other things over time, maybe some other updates, some other pieces of news, because there's a lot of news going on. The news be news in today as we wait for that press conference, because allegedly that press conference is going to be happening in literally in an hour. I mean, an hour and a minute from now. Okay. If you want to get technical, how's that? Okay, so let's take a look at this. So missing Randolph County boy, Liam King, okay, 7-year-old Liam King has been found gone after days-long search. So authorities found a body in the search for this missing boy, okay, and they said that he was found in a pond. And remember, police were draining, as far as their press conferences and all that stuff, they were draining the pond. They were draining the pond as of yesterday. And of course, they were like, hey, we're doing everything we can, but we're still draining this pond. Once we're done draining this pond and we look, then we'll have more information. And of course, they finally drained the pond, and now they found this little boy. Liam King. So authorities have said they found the body of the 7-year-old boy who went missing over the weekend. Liam was found dead in a pond, the Randolph County Sheriff's Office said on Tuesday afternoon. The office said that the discovery was made near the area where he was initially reported missing. So right where he disappeared, I heard I heard a phrase, and maybe I heard it wrong, but someone else, a mother who was like, yeah, my son has this, is very similar with the same type of autism that Liam had. She said something like, he's only ellipsed once. Is that a phrase? Or did I hear that mother say something like, did I mishear the mother say something like that? Is ellipsing a thing? Eloped? Maybe she said that. I don't know. Oh, eloped is the word? Okay. Thank you. Thank you on TikTok and on all the social media platforms, because we on everything right now. Okay, eloped. Okay, because I could have sworn she said ellipsed, and I'm like, ellipsed? That's a new one for me. I didn't know, right? Leaving without knowledge, Miss Honeybee. Thank you. Eloped. Thank you. No, I want to know this. I want to learn these things. You know what I mean? So I'm better, right? I want to get better. I want to know more, right? So thank you guys so much. Thank you for all the knowledge. I appreciate it. Okay. But let's continue on. All right. So they say the office released a statement sharing their condolences for the community. We are absolutely devastated. I wish more than anything that we had a different outcome for Liam's family, for our community, and for the hundreds of first responders and volunteers who poured their hearts into finding him alive. So they do, right here, it says a press conference is set for 2 p.m. today, and they will provide more details. So that's going to be 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So less than an hour from now, we will be hearing from police, giving us full breakdown on what happened here, and if there's any more information other than confirming that he's gone and that his body has been found. So King, who officials said was nonverbal, was last seen at his home near Forest Hills Drive in Asheboro around 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. Officials said Liam walked away from the area, and then an Amber Alert was issued. And I mean, that's pretty scary. I mean, it's pretty scary to think that he was seen outside of a home, and then suddenly, seconds later, he's now in a pond, right? Or now found in a pond. That's some scary stuff, guys. 1 second. I'm trying to pull something up, and it's acting a fool. Hold up. 1 second, y'all. Yeah, that page suddenly just disappeared on me, y'all. Many apologies, guys. 1 second. All right. I'll just use this one. This is not the article I was hoping for or I was going to use, but we're going to use it anyway. So we're going to do what we do. We're going to do what we do. All right. But yes, it's heartbreaking, y'all. Okay. Again, 70 years old. He has been found gone. Again, we're taking a trip down memory lane now. Okay. I did some videos about this. I did a TikTok, some shorts, etc. Some posts about this on my Facebook page. When it first came out. And then, of course, there was a small update last night, but it wasn't really much. It was just them basically saying, hey, we're still trying to find the boy. When we find the boy, we'll talk, right? And we'll let you know. Now they have found the boy, but we're taking it a few steps backwards so you guys know exactly what's going on here. And here's the other thing, too. People were quick to go down the conspiracy theory road. And I'm going to keep saying that till I'm blue in the face. Let's wait. Okay? Let's wait. I think that's the neatest way. And when I mean neat, I don't mean like, oh, this is neato. No, I mean the neatest, non-sloppiest way we can approach this case, right? Because I know everybody goes, look to the parents or look to the, such and such. Well, let's wait, right? Let's wait. Let's get some information first. Let's see what they see and see what they find or discover. If there's anything sinister going on, for a fact, we all going to know. That stuff's going to come out. All right? Trust and believe. Okay? Hold on 1 second, guys. So, yes, I will be giving you guys a recap. Yossi, I got you. I'm giving you the recap right now. All right. Real quick, though. Tina Powers, thank you so much for being a member for 10 months. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Eddie. Okay. Eddie. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome to becoming a member. And just like Eddie, please, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that join button down below. Become a member. Okay. Support the channel if you can. That'd be great. Charity, what's up? Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Okay. Now we're going to take a little recap, little trip down memory lane. All right. Just so you know. And Corey, I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. All right. So let's take a look at this. Nonverbal 70-year-old missing as North Carolina authorities vow to use every resource to find him. So they said in a quote, every second counts when a child is missing. And that's the damnedest, most truthful thing in the world. Okay. And of course, they jumped on this quick. And they were fast to jump to the public and say, hey, public, we need your help. Can you come out and help us and check it all out and see if you can help us find this little boy? Thank you. This is a little different from the Emmanuel Hotto case. Uh-oh. Sorry, not sorry. I'm just spouting facts. Notice that they said, hey, hi guys, we need help. We're trying to find this kid. Help us help him or something like that, right? Please. But look at Emmanuel Hotto case. Not much press conference, not much updates. They told basically the general public to back the F off, right? Remember that? We haven't forgotten about the Emmanuel Hotto case. Let's keep it a bean. We haven't forgotten that, right? But now they were quick to be transparent and open with the public and say, hey, guys, We need help. If you see something, please say something. Please call 911. But we could use some help getting out here and going through all these woods, trying to find this little boy. We could use that help. That's commendable. That's teamwork, right? That's freaking teamwork. Moving on, though. A search is underway for a missing 7-year-old nonverbal boy from, and of course, we already know this. This is old news. We're just taking that trip down memory lane. Just a reminder, because I know some of y'all going to be like, this is old news, man. I know it's old news. I'm giving you guys the updates, okay? A little bit of a timeline. So, the child, Liam King, was reported to the Randolph County Sheriff's Office in Asheboro, North Carolina on Sunday, September 7th. The agency said in a statement, he left the Forest Hills Drive area on foot and is cognitively impaired. Officials believe he may run if approached because he's cognitively impaired. He's nonverbal, he has autism, etc. Okay? And he could be out there completely, or at that time, he could have been out there completely confused if you were to approach him. So, of course, just approach with care. Does that make sense? So he was last seen wearing a light blue, black, and gray Nike sweatshirt, a gray Nike t-shirt, black sweatpants, blue Sonic socks, and tan sneakers. So the sheriff's office noted King is about 3 feet 5 inches tall. He weighs about 55 pounds and has dark shoulder-length hair with brown eyes, which we already saw the photo, okay? And we're going to be seeing it. See, again, there it is. Okay, so that's basically what he was wearing, what he was last seen wearing, okay? With the long hair and everything. We currently have a lot of personnel from various responder agencies actively involved in the search for the missing 7-year-old. Additional search teams are already scheduled to rotate in as part of our ongoing efforts. The sheriff's office said in another update on Monday, so yesterday, that it continues to use, quote unquote, every resource available to find this little boy. And they did. That includes many law enforcement partners, state, local, and federal resources, and other first responders who have been searching on the ground and in the air since we first received the call that he was missing. And of course, this is the sheriff's office continued, adding, the department will continue to conduct searches and interviews. Liam is a member of our community, and we will use every means possible to bring him home. So, of course, they said, if you see anything, say something. If you see something, say something. Call 911, call local authorities, just get on the phone and let's get him home. Every second counts when a child is missing, especially after the chilling night that we just had. Our focus is to find Liam as quickly as possible. No piece of information is too small or insignificant, which is appreciated, I'm sure, because I'm sure they were getting phone calls like crazy. Whole bunch of tips, I'm sure. False identities, that kind of thing. I mean, it happens. There's a lot of kids with long brown hair that look like Liam, you know? So again, yeah. But look, they found this little boy. The mystery is gone, right? There is no mystery about where he could be. He has been found. It closes the chapter to the book. The book could still be open depending on how he perished. But if he perished out of an accident, then yes, the whole book is closed, right? So the thing is the thing I'm kind of curious about, because one thing that we haven't seen much, okay? Yes, Lori, he was found in the pond. Yes, ma'am. And in about a little over 45 minutes from now, there will be a press conference, okay? So and for those of y'all who are just late to the party, getting late to the show, it's okay. It's okay. But I'm just letting you know, Liam King was found. His body was discovered in a pond. They were draining that pond yesterday. And so they found him in that pond. Now, of course, we do not know if this was a full-on accident or if this is something else. They're going to do what they need to do. They're going to do their due diligence. They're going to dive into this information. They're going to look at his autopsy. Medical examiners, I'm sure, are going to, the medical examiner's office, I'm sure, is going to study his remains, and his remains are going to tell a story. Either he fell in or something else happened. I'm thinking that this young boy fell in. I'm thinking that this is just an accident. It happens. Okay. And I hate to say that, but that's a harsh reality, but it is a reality nonetheless. The other part is that they said that he was fascinated. He had a fascination with water. That's a very big piece of information as well. Okay. And of course he eloped. Okay. That is still something that we have to, if he's had a history of eloping, then we have to put that into consideration, right? He was seen outside of the house. He was last seen outside of the house, and then he was gone. That's the thing I'm curious about, right? No, I'm not trying to put on the speculation. We ain't pulling up to the speculation station today, okay? But I am kind of curious about what actually happened there. Did they ever find out what actually happened? Because he was last seen like outside of that house, of the house that he was visiting. It wasn't his parents' home, okay? It wasn't either of his parents' home. He was outside a family member's home, okay? And then he was gone. What actually happened there, right? Did somebody turn around and pick something up off the ground, averted their attention from Liam for 5 seconds, right? I don't know, saw a car drive by, turned back around, and he's gone, right? What happened? Right? Yeah, Lizzie, like someone out there just texting, looking down at a phone, watching a TikTok. It could be anything. And then looks back up and he gone, right? And you know how kids are. Kids move fast, okay? The faster you've ever seen in your whole entire life. You're like, damn, how did you get from there to there that fast? I didn't even blink and you moved. You see what I'm saying? So again, I am kind of curious about the timeline of him missing, right? The moment where they saw him outside and then he's gone. That's one thing for sure. When we talked about other cases before, right? The Summer Wells, the Sebastian Rogers cases, and all that stuff. And I'm seeing the chat. Some of you guys are mentioning those names in the chat. And one thing is for sure, when it comes to Sebastian's, they didn't say that there was any sighting of him outside before he up and vanished. You see what I'm saying? Quite the difference. We see and hear about Liam standing outside. Apparently he was near the wooded area, and then he was gone. So of course there's a lot of question on what actually happened here, or how did this go down the way it went down. And it angers me because I would rather have this little boy be found alive than be found gone. And it could very well just be his curiosity and his fascination and nature meeting in one place, one tragic place, at the same place at the same time. That could very well be it too, right? But again, all of us have questions. All of us want to know what the heck's going on here. So again, of course, like I said, we're taking little trips down memory lane. 1 second, please, because this website there it is. Now it's working, because there's some information in this particular news article that I do want to share with you guys, and I think it's very important because it says more. It says more information. Like I was just telling you, they said that he was seen outside the home, like outside in the backyard or the front yard, however the layout was, and then he just disappeared, right? The other part is people were saying that he was at his parents' home. And if I know the information correctly, the parents aren't together, so they're apart. But that's the thing. He wasn't at one of his biological parents' homes. he was at a family member's home, and then he disappeared. So let's take a look at this. Okay. Now, of course, this is from news from like yesterday afternoon, evening time. Okay. So they say deputies, of course, said that they're asking for the public's help in searching for a missing nonverbal child. Again, shout out to police for actually turning to the public and saying, hey, this is a lot bigger than we can actually handle. We need your help. Right. And of course, people were out there trying to find this little boy, y'all. Instead of going, F off, we're going to figure it out ourselves. No, come here, help us, but please make sure you're doing everything within the confines of what we ask you to do. Don't just go rogue doing this all by yourself. We need the help. So let's work together, right? So on Tuesday morning, there was still an active scene. So they said the search continues to center on a quarter-acre sized pond. This is important because this is where I believe this little boy was found, in this pond. And it was a pond in a wooded area near where deputies believed where he went missing. So he didn't go very far, guys. I hate to say it like that, but that's facts. He didn't go very far. Search efforts continued overnight Monday. Numerous agencies have joined in the search. I mean, everybody. I'm saying land, sky, everybody. Dogs, drones, everyone was out there looking for this little boy. Deputies said they received a report around 11 a.m. on Sunday of a missing child, identified as Liam King, in the area of Forest Hills Drive in Asheboro. Investigators told this local news outlet, that hundreds of officers from the Randolph County Sheriff's Office, North Carolina Adult Corrections, and Search and Rescue joined the search. They used helicopters, drones, law enforcement on the ground to search a 2,500-meter radius of the house. Authorities said, what is it doing? What is it doing? Hold on. There it is. Authorities said, sorry, it keeps refreshing for some weird reason. But anyway, authorities said the public can help by searching their own property while emergency personnel continue to look for Liam in the wooded area. So, in an update on Monday, the sheriff said that Liam is fascinated with water, which is instantly where I was like, oh no, oh God forbid. Real talk. Instantly when I heard that, I was like, oh, he's in that lake, or he's in that pond. He's in that pond, or if there's a river nearby. If there was a river nearby and he has a fascination with water, he's in that river. You see what I'm saying? I was like, God forbid, please don't be true. Please don't be true. Please do not be true. But yeah, he's been found in the pond, y'all. So he has a fascination with water. So they're focusing on bodies of water. He does not live on Forest Hills Drive. He was actually visiting a family member. So that part is important too. Who is the family member that he was visiting, and was a parent there? Was he outside playing with other kids? And then the kids weren't paying attention when he ran off? Like, I just want to know the timeline right before he went, up until he went missing. You know what I mean? What happened? How did he go from being there to not being there, and now he was found in a pond? How did that happen? Like I said, no strange speculation. I just want to know how he disappeared so easily and so quickly. That's all, right? So the sheriff also said there is no reason to believe Liam was taken, but he may be lost and confused. Of course, we already know what he was last seen wearing. And yes, we are going to be watching that, Ryan, on YouTube. We are going to be watching that press conference. That's going to be happening in about a little less than 40 minutes from now. So we will be watching that in 40 minutes. Okay. Just so you guys know. We already know his height. We already know what he was last seen wearing. Officials said Liam walked away from the area. He has cognitive impairments and is nonverbal, which means he may run if approached. So the sheriff said that they are playing music and TV shows during the search that Liam likes to make him come out of hiding. But that has not been working. This part screamed at me, Sebastian Rogers. Remember Sebastian Rogers in the very beginning, the embryo stage of that case. They were playing like Eye of the Tiger and some of his favorite songs out in the woods as they were trying to find him, hoping that the music would lure him out, make him comfortable and come out. Now, as you guys already know, Sebastian Rogers has not been spotted anywhere. And it's been well over a year since his disappearance. He's already had a birthday and everything, and he's still not found. Okay. Now, this part, and of course, they have something as well that Sebastian Rogers was autistic. Liam King is autistic as well. They try to use TV shows and music to get him out. Okay. Those things scream Sebastian Rogers. And of course, again, just a quick update. Sebastian Rogers has yet to be found. Period. Just so you guys know. Moving on. So on Monday, they released this following statement. So I'm just going to read this really quick. So the Randolph County Sheriff's Office is using every resource available to find this little boy. That includes many law enforcement partners, state, and local, and federal resources, and other first responders who have been searching on the ground and in the air since we received the call that he was missing. We will continue to conduct extensive searches and interviews. Therefore, you will continue to notice an enhanced law enforcement presence in the area where he was last seen. Liam is a member of our community, and we will use every means possible to bring him home. To ensure the integrity of the tracking efforts currently underway, we kindly ask that no one enter the area at this time unless you have been sent out from the command post. So again, he's like, okay, at the time, he's like, yo, y'all, please do not go out here rogue, okay, on your own rogue mission. Please come to us. We will tell you where to go. Thank you for your service, right? Thank you so much for your help. All right. Even a well-intentioned movement could compromise valuable tracks. Yeah, that makes sense. You out here just doing it all by yourself, going rogue and going, I'm gonna find the kid myself. Well, you could be jacking up a trail, right? Evidence that could get to him faster. Obviously, the story is different now because he has been found, but you know what I mean. At the time, you could be compromising some serious breadcrumbs that could lead them to him faster, right? So they say, thank you for understanding and your support. Of course, they said every second counts when a child is missing, especially after this chilly night, like I just said to you guys before. They said, of course, if you know something, please say something. All right, speak up, call 911, call local authorities, and let's bring him home, right? So again, very, very sad information. This is from Legacy, and so shout out to Legacy. All right. Yes, he was found in the pond, Placer on YouTube. Yes. Young boy has been found in the pond. Sad information. There's a press conference in a little over 30 minutes from now. We will be watching that as well. Okay. And yes, where's Summer and Sebastian? Yeah. Birthday's in December. He's had a birthday since he's been missing. And if it keeps going the rate it's at right now, we in September. I keep forgetting that. Okay. We in September. God forbid they celebrate another birthday without him actually here. Okay. God, I don't want to have that happen. Okay. But that is a fact. That is a hard fact. He is still gone, Sebastian. So again, I'm hoping that he's found soon. But let's take a look at this. I'm Legacy. Thank you for the tweet. Okay. As of this morning, which of course, this is old news, okay, guys? But I'm just giving you guys what people are putting out here. And I got questions too, right? And they're asking viable questions. Okay. So as of this morning, 70-year-old Liam King is still missing. The FBI has now joined local authorities in the search and rescue efforts. So at the press conference yesterday, one detail from Liam's mom struck me deeply. Liam has never once eloped, run off in his 7 years of life. Why would he suddenly run now? Now, here's the thing. Plenty of kids, okay? Plenty of kids go while out. Plenty of kids. Again, you don't have to be on the spectrum to just run off, right? You don't have to be on the spectrum to just be wilding out here. Kids are kids of all various ages, right? So in my mind, I go, okay, yeah, that makes sense that, why would he be suddenly run now? It's possible, but he's 7. And there could have been something that caught his attention. And I don't know the layout of the home, like where he went missing. And I don't know if he was in earshot or in eye shot of the pond. He could have seen the pond and said, "Oh, a pond," and it started running, right? It's possible. It's possible, right? But I get it. I get the question, right? If he's somebody who's, if he's a kid that's timid, naturally timid, why would he suddenly just run, right? It makes sense. But I also know kids. You know what I mean? Okay, parents out there, we all know kids. Okay? And kids be kids. They be wilding. 1 minute they're chill, docile, okay, almost lethargic. And then seconds later, it's like a bolt of lightning. You're like, what? You were just sitting down reading a book. How are you all the way over there? You know what I mean? It happens. It does happen. Okay. According to her, this is not a behavior he has ever displayed. So many questions remain. Who was he visiting that day? That's what I'd like to know. Because they say it's a family member. Who that be? Right? Was mama there when Liam went missing? Or did she drop him off over at this house and then, had to go to work or whatever? You know what I mean? Had to go run some errands. Or were they all there hanging out and chilling, right? Who was he visiting? They say family member. Who that be, though? That's what I want to know. How much time passed before authorities are called? I've heard varying information. I've heard hours, but I don't know if that's entirely true. Like I said, I just heard that. And then, of course, who placed the 911 call? These are 3 great questions, okay, that I agree 110% with. Who was he visiting? We hear it's a family member, but who's that family member? Then, was he there with other kids? Or was he just out there playing, in the grass in the backyard by himself, right? How much time passed before authorities are called? They say that police received a phone call at around 11 a.m. on Sunday. Did he go missing 15 minutes before that? Did he go missing 3 hours before that phone call was called or was made, right? Before 911 was actually made. They say 911 law enforcement received or was dispatched around 11 a.m. Did he go missing at 7 in the morning, 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning, 10:55 in the morning? What happened? What's the timeline between that? But again, like I said, anything's possible, right? And I'm not trying to say, oh, the parents did something sinister. That's what happened. No, I'm not saying that at all. But these are questions that need to be answered. Okay? These are viable questions. We ain't wearing the tinfoil hat. Not today. Not today, Satan. Okay? Not today, Satan. All right? But these are viable questions that need to be answered. Because at the end of the day, if that kid was unattended, staying at a family member's home, that family member that he was dropped off with has some splaining to do. That's it. And yeah, this was Nicole. Yep. This was on Nicole B on YouTube. Yep. This happened in the daylight, in the morning. Sun is out and everything. And then some time later, don't know how much time later, a phone call to 911 was made. Or a phone call to police was made. And that's it. So again, who was watching the kid? Was he outside by himself or was he with other kids? And maybe the parent, okay, of the home believed that their kids were going to watch him while they're playing with him too. And then maybe they got, kids, their kids' attention spans are this short. They're this short. You know what I mean? It's shiny object or, so it's possible where it's like, oh, you guys are going to go out and play? Okay. All right. Just keep an eye on Liam. Okay. All right. Y'all have fun. And then maybe they just, kids lost track of time and turned around and boom, he's gone. Right. It's possible. But nonetheless, whoever is the parental unit of that home that was supposed to be responsible for keeping an eye on Liam has a lot of explaining to do. So each day passes, which of course makes this harder to bear. I want to stay hopeful. Yeah. And of course, keep him and his family in your prayers. And again, like I said, there's a lot of information that's still pending. And I think we're going to find out some more information. I honestly believe, yes, Nicole B, I don't think anything sinister happened. I don't think it was I don't think it's an Emmanuel Haro situation. Okay. I really don't. I think that this kid may have truly wandered off, found that body of water. He has a fascination with water. He may have gone too close, slipped, fell, and now we're here. That's very possible. But again, we'll see what police have to say in 25 minutes. All right. It just sucks. Just sucks. It just sucks. No kid. We shouldn't, like, the end result here. It shouldn't be like that, right? It's disheartening for sure. But yeah, let me look at a few other things. Now, TikTok, you're not going to be able to see this video, but I'm going to break it down for you guys. Okay, you're not going to be able to hear it either, but I'll explain it here in just a little bit. Okay. But there is some video I want to share because, again, like I said, this was an effort on so many levels. Okay, it wasn't just local PD. It wasn't just all these agencies coming together. It was also the neighborhood, right? The townspeople, etc. Volunteers going out of their way to try to find Liam. It's commendable. Okay. But let me get this super chat really quick. Kiki, thank you so much for the love. Okay. Thank you. All right. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's sweet of you. Thank you. But yeah, this is it's crazy. Let's take a look at this video. Again, this is old. Just a heads up. Just trip down memory lane. I may play a little bit of the press conference that they had yesterday, just so we can hear a little bit of what they were doing leading up to his discovering and recovering his remains. Again, for those of y'all who are late to the party, just getting here, Liam King went missing. He's 7 years old. He was missing for the last few days. And of course, if you're not reading the title above or down below, wherever you're watching this show, the young boy has been found. His body was found in a pond that they were draining all yesterday and I guess most of this morning. And they were able to recover his remains. There's a press conference here in about a little over 20 minutes from now, which we are going to be watching, where they're going to give us more information. Obviously, they're going to confirm that his remains are indeed that of Liam King, but maybe there's some more information that they're going to give us. And I am kind of curious as to how this kid went missing, why this kid went missing, and we'll see what happens here. We'll see what's going on. Now, I'm about to play this old video. This is from just yesterday, about a day ago. You guys aren't going to be able to see it on TikTok. I'll explain everything in just a little bit. So just ride with me, or you can go over to my YouTube channel and check that out. Okay, it's called The Pascal Show. Go check it out if you want, or just stay right here. Whichever way, you're as beautiful as you want to be. Let's continue.
Find a missing 7-year-old boy. About 100 people have been looking across Asheboro since Liam King went missing just after 5 o'clock tonight. Liam is nonverbal and was last seen in the area of Forest Hills Drive. That's where our WXII News 2's Lauren Tier is live right now. It is a heavily wooded area, and there's not good cell phone service, which is making the search even harder.
Well, Ben, it's obviously dark out now, and it has been for hours, but that certainly has not stopped the search for 7-year-old Liam King. In fact, people have been out here searching in the wooded area surrounding where he went missing since about 11 o'clock this morning. So far, both county agencies from Randolph and Chatham counties, as well as state agencies, have responded to help here. This includes fire departments, EMS, sheriff's office deputies, highway patrol officers, North Carolina wildlife, emergency management offices, and yes, there's even more. North Carolina probation and parole has also responded, as well as North Carolina Department of Corrections. Randolph County Chief Deputy Stephen Nunn's canines also searched in the surrounding area, as well as team on foot and four-wheelers. And for hours earlier, when it was still light outside, there were highway patrol helicopters flying around. Nunn said left Liam out.
Okay, so the sound is trash. I don't know why it's coming out all glitchy like that, but nonetheless, I'm going to show a few more clips here, but people are going out of their way to try to find this boy. Okay, or at that time, they were doing everything they could to find this little boy. And one thing is for sure. One thing I noticed, I mean, it sounds like everybody was working together in tandem. Everybody was working in a copacetic way. Okay. Which obviously is appreciative, right? Unlike a lot of these other cases that we cover, and it's not all, some. Okay. Yeah, Kiki, I agree. Tennessee does need to take a note on this for sure, but it's madness. Madness, y'all. It's absolute madness. Okay. I'm going to pull up some more here, okay? Because we got 19 minutes allegedly is when they're going to be doing the press conference, okay? So let me pull up a few more things from yesterday, leading up to a couple hours ago. So just ride with me, guys. I'll explain everything here, okay, on the TikTok. Also, please, guys, before we get into that, before we dive into even more, okay, please do me a favor, hit that like button down below, okay? Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button. If you're watching on these platforms, please and thank you. I do have some like roses thing up here. If you want to, you're more than welcome to. If not, it's okay. All right. No pressure. I just appreciate you guys being here. All right. Hit that like button down below. Hit that follow, subscribe, please and thank you. Okay. And we're going to get into this thing. Okay. Yeah, we're not putting people's addresses in the chat. Do not do that. Don't do that. All right. If that's what was going on, don't do it. Okay. Do not do it. Okay, let's continue.
On the ground and in the air, law enforcement is exhausting all resources in the search for a missing 7-year-old boy. No one has seen Liam King from Asheboro in more than 24 hours. Good evening, I'm Chad Silber.
And I'm Sydney Moore. There's been no signs of the nonverbal child with cognitive impairments. At this point, the search involves a number of agencies, including the FBI. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake is out in Asheboro right now. Amber, a lot of community members are on edge, definitely hoping Liam is found.
That's right. I knocked on a lot of those neighbors' doors today, up and down Forest Hills Drive in Asheboro. That's where the search is taking place. And every single neighbor answered their door with, have they found him yet? This entire community is really just holding out hope, hoping that Liam King is found safe.
Hold your kids tighter is all I can say.
That's the advice tonight from neighbors in Asheboro as the search continues for a missing 7-year-old boy with autism.
We spoke to the mother, and she stated that he hardly has ever ventured away.
Deputies say Liam King wandered off Sunday from Forest Hills Drive. He's nonverbal and might run if approached. Part of the search on the second day included draining a pond near his home. Deputies say nearly 100 people are involved, including the FBI, state agencies, and local rescue teams. One man even coming from South Carolina.
I came down here on my own accord to help look for that missing child. I have a small daughter myself, so when I saw the news on it this morning, it really hit my heart. So I talked to my wife, and we decided that I would come up here and go ahead and give a search.
Now, let me just say this, okay? Like, I love that. I know you guys can't hear what's going on here, okay? But they're showcasing people that were going out of their way, volunteers that are actually going out of there trying to find this little boy. And that's the kind of energy we need, y'all. That's exactly the kind of energy that we need when it comes to all these missing persons cases. Not only just the kids, it's also the adults too. People wander off, or bad things happen. People get lost all the time. And you got this gentleman and a bunch of other people going out of their way. He came from South Carolina, this guy, which I freaking love, to try to help and try to find this kid. That's incredible. A lot of law enforcement. I know I keep on saying this, but it just aggravates me and it burns my cookies so much when it comes to what's going on with the Emmanuel Hotto case. And I'm going to keep on saying that until that kid's body is found. This is a moment where law enforcement needs to be turning to the public and say, hey, yeah, we need help. Public, volunteers, you want to come out and help? Please, by all means, come out and help, right? That's how it's supposed to be. But lo and behold, we got law enforcement in certain departments that are too up their own egotistical booty holes that they're not willing to turn to the public and say, yeah, we need some help. Yeah, we're having a little rendezvous spot. You come through. This is going to be our little command post. We'll tell you where to look. We'll tell you which area to go. And anything you find, you come and you let us know. And please, don't be posting all this stuff on the internet and live streaming and crap. We need you focused, trying to find the boy or trying to find that loved one, right? But unfortunately, we have agencies out here in various places, okay, that are all up in their own, they're too busy trying to be the ones that are the heroes, the ones that crack the case or break the case or and all that stuff, that they forget that there's people out here that have resources and also precious ability to donate precious time to go and find the likes of someone like Liam, the likes of somebody like Emmanuel Hotto, the likes of somebody like Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells, etc. It's just that, like I said, it's just insane to me that what we witness. Okay. This is crazy. Because I feel that if local PD out in California, and of course, the DA, if they actually turned to the public and said, hey, any volunteers out here, please, that kid would have been found by now. Emmanuel would have been found by now. I guarantee you, he would have been found by now. With all of them working all together at the same time, man, there's so much coverage you can handle. There's only so much coverage you can handle as an agency. But then you add the community, and there are people that are very, very passionately connected to that case that would have stopped at nothing, took time off of work to just go out there and try to find Emmanuel. You don't think we would have been able to find that kid by now? The likes of Tita and all these other people that were trying to find Emmanuel. You don't imagine that 10 times, 100 times over. That type of energy. But they're stopping everything. They're stopping all them because they want the ego. They want the pride. They want the win, the W. Instead of just saying, hey, the great leadership is when you need help. That's a good sign of leadership. Hey, we only have so much resources. We need the volunteers. Please help. But they don't do that. And that's what's sad, because they want to have the press conference on, pulling up their waistbands. Well, we found a boy. Local PD is amazing. Aren't we amazing? You know what I mean? It's like the big fish photo, It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Let me continue on. Apologies.
The sheriff's office says the boy was outside with family and wandered off while unsupervised for just a few minutes.
Okay, there it is. Unsupervised for just a few minutes. Hold on, I gotta hit the button. So you mean to tell me unattended for minutes? So that kind of sounds like, to me, there were no other kids around. Unattended for several minutes. You have a nonverbal, autistic 7-year-old boy who they claim has never eloped ever. And he was unattended outside for a matter of minutes. And any parent out here can sit here and attest to this. It doesn't matter if the kid is autistic or not. You look down for 2 seconds and look up. That kid that you were watching that was calm, and collected, docile as hell, coloring in a coloring book. They could be in the other side of the space, somewhere else, trying to flush things down the toilet in the bathroom on the opposite side of your home within seconds. And you're going, how did you do what? You were coloring a book 2 seconds ago. How did you do that? Damn. You see what I'm saying? And for a fact I'm right. Okay? So imagine a matter of minutes, a child being unattended out in an open space. Yeah, somebody going to have to explain this. Somebody has some explaining to do. A matter of minutes by himself outside.
Neighbors are checking their yards, keeping an eye out, and most importantly, praying for his safe return.
It's heartbreaking. I have grandkids, and I don't know what I would do if it's me. All we can do is pray and pray for the best and for the family,
Crazy.
And the wooded area where they're searching for this 7-year-old is very dense. Just driving around out there today, you can't even see through the trees to see if there are homes back there, anything at all. It's very, very dense in that area. That's why they're using ATVs, they're using helicopters, dogs. The sheriff's office says, thankfully, they don't expect foul play. They don't expect abduction. This is just a desperate plea for help, searching for Liam King. If you do see him, call 911.
Okay. And of course, we already know the end result now. We have a press conference in about 7 minutes, everybody, just so you know. I'm just keeping an eye on the time so we know what's going on. Okay. But I do have an article here. So another piece of the updates, another piece of information on the update about this a little boy being found gone. Okay. So he has been found, and they're saying investigation is still ongoing. So the search for 70-year-old Liam King ended in tragedy this morning when his body was discovered in a pond near the area where he was initially reported missing. The discovery was made at approximately 10:11 a.m. according to authorities. So 9:11 a.m. Central Standard Time was when he was reported found. Okay. We are absolutely devastated, said officials involved in this case. I wish more than anything that we had a different outcome for Liam's family, for our country, for our community, and for the hundreds of first responders and volunteers who poured their hearts into finding him alive. The search for him, for Liam, who had cognitive impairments and was nonverbal, had been ongoing. Since he was last seen in the Forest Hills Drive area of Asheboro on Sunday. He was reported missing by the Randolph County Sheriff's Office, which had sought the public's help in locating him. So over the past couple days, of course, this was an extraordinary effort that was made by first responders and volunteers in the search for Liam. This loss is truly heartbreaking, said officials, urging the community to keep Liam's family in their thoughts and prayers. So his demise, Liam's demise, remains an active investigation. Of course, there's going to be an active investigation because they still don't know what exactly happened. Did something sinister happen or not, right? And this could very well just be a straight up and down tragic accident. That could really be what it is. We discussed another case last year where you had a 2-year-old boy, if I'm correct. I think it was a 2-year-old boy that was outside his family's home. One of the parents, we never got the clarification of which parent was watching that little boy, that 2-year-old boy. But you remember where the little boy was outside. He was playing in the front yard, and their yard was massive, right? And this is out in Oregon, if I'm correct. The parent that was watching the kid walked back into the house for a second, came back out, and that baby boy was gone. He also had a fascination with bodies of water, and they lived right by a massive river. And of course, days later, that little boy was found in the river, right? Crazy, tragic, no foul play, nothing sinister. The only thing is that kid had a fascination with water. Apparently, he had a fascination with that river. The kid, I guess, saw an opportunity to run towards the river, and he did. And then, of course, he fell, and he fell in, and he was found in that river. So it could still be just that Liam was unattended to for, they said, minutes. And you have a child who is nonverbal, cognitively impaired, autistic, that has a fascination with bodies of water. Eesh, it's not a good combination. but they're still looking into it to see what actually happened here. And of course, there's going to be a press conference here in about 3 minutes, and they're going to tell us exactly what went down. So I'm going to try to get that set up here so that we can watch that press conference, because that's going to be happening here any minute now. So give me a second so I can get that rocking and rolling. All right. I mean, I hope they have a live somewhere. They're gonna have a live here soon. So because of course the press conference is going to be happening. They say around 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. So we'll see what happens here. But oh, and then here's the other thing. Excuse me. Somebody was asking me about the woman out in Chicago. Her name is Ramika Meeks, who was gunned down by her ex's girlfriend outside of her son's school. I will be covering that here shortly as well. So just so you guys know about that. And of course, I know about the Ariana, I forgot her last name. Shoot, I feel bad. Hold on. Ariana Zarutska. The Irina Zarutska. I know all about the Irina Zarutska case as well. I'm going to try to find time to talk about that as well. And that one's insane too. So just so you know, we're keeping an eye on a lot of different cases. A lot of things are going on simultaneously all at the same doggone time. Here's the other thing too. There are some things that I'm covering in short format or TikTok or reel format. And there's others that I'm covering that I'm just posting as articles, articles and posts on Facebook too. So I'd highly recommend you guys follow the Pascal Show Facebook page. Make sure you are there following that page, because I put up, there's a lot, it's now like this ongoing news feed, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. Everything from the Epstein stuff to pop culture crap to true crime. You're getting it all there. Some things are in video form and some things are in article form. But if you follow over there, you're going to get a lot of updates and a lot of information, a lot faster than me hopping on here and going live. You see what I'm saying? So just a heads up on that. Okay. But of course, follow me on my TikTok, follow me on and subscribe to my YouTube channel and all that, because there's a lot of things that I am covering, on Facebook that I am talking about on live. Okay. But you'll get a better idea of what I'm talking about on Facebook, or what I'm about to talk about on Facebook, if that makes any sense. Lori, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thank you. But let me see, because they're supposed to be having this press conference right now, and I don't see any live. Hold on. Let's see. Let us see. I'm waiting, just like everybody else is waiting. Hold on one second, guys. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to see if there's any updates from anywhere. Yeah, I don't see any lives yet. It's supposed to be a press conference already, guys. Or it's supposed to be already happening. Just checking a couple other spots here. Right now, I don't see anything yet. I mean, I'm sure they're still trying to get as much information as they can. That could be it too. Hold on. Let's see what they say here. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I don't see anything yet. Let us see here. Well, this is from Randolph County Sheriff's Office on Facebook. So I'm just going to show this to you guys real quick. It says, it's with great sadness that we share the following update. It is with heavy hearts that we share the body of 7-year-old Liam King was discovered this morning in a pond near the area where he was initially reported missing. We are absolutely devastated. I wish more than anything that we had a different outcome for Liam's family, for our community, and for the hundreds of first responders and volunteers who poured their hearts into finding him alive. Over the past 2 days, you've seen an extraordinary effort from all involved. Hold on. From all involved in this search. This loss is truly heartbreaking. We ask everyone to please continue to keep Liam's family in your thoughts and prayers. Liam's demise remains in active investigation. And of course, this is an update from earlier today, where they're basically saying, hey, we're out here trying to find him. And then they, of course, clarified a few things about some misinformation, because people were thinking that because the child is nonverbal, does that mean he can't hear? Like he's deaf as well? But no, he has normal hearing. He is not deaf. But of course, now we know that he's been found. Again, I'm trying to see if there's they said that there was going to be a press conference. I don't see anything so far. I don't see anything so far. Let's see here. That's one thing. Let me see. Let's take a look at this.
We're following breaking news in the search for a young boy reported missing in Randolph County. Liam King has been found dead this afternoon, and WXII 12 Sarah Sowers is joining us live with the latest updates. Sarah?
Lindsay, it's such a heartbreaking update that obviously none of us wanted to hear this afternoon. We heard from Sheriff Seabolt, who said that around 10 a.m. this morning, the body of 7-year-old Liam King was found in a pond near the area where he was initially reported missing. The sheriff goes on to say that he is absolutely devastated and says, quote, I wish more than anything that we had a different outcome for Liam's family, for our community, and for the hundreds of first responders and volunteers who poured their hearts into finding him alive. The sheriff's office has been looking for Liam for the last 2 days since he was first reported missing around 11 a.m. on Sunday. The sheriff goes on to say that this loss is truly heartbreaking, and this is still considered an active death investigation. We do intend to hear from the sheriff later on this afternoon around 2 o'clock, and we'll be bringing that to you live on our website as well. For now, live in Randolph County, Sarah Sowers, WXII 12 News.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're just breaking the same statement, about from the sheriff's office, just basically saying what I just read to you guys. I mean, yeah, this is very sad. Little boy's been found. Of course, it's not the way that we wanted it to, it's not the outcome that we all wanted, but unfortunately, it's the outcome, right? Now, I don't know if the press conference is, happening, I don't know if it's like happening in a half hour from now. I mean, but this is how it is. You know, they're trying to get as much information as they can, and all that before they go into, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to get as much information as they can before they go into a, press conference, right? So again, it may be pushed to 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's possible, but we'll see. You know, so let's see. We're gonna pull up a few more things, see if there's anything else here. All right, give me 2 seconds. Yeah.
Happening now in the W Area Live Center, we have a sad update to that story we've been reporting all morning long for the last 24 hours about that 7-year-old North Carolina boy, Liam King. Well, we've just learned from the Randolph County Sheriff's Office that his body was found this morning near Asheboro, where he was last reported missing. These are new pictures that they released in the last 24 hours of the 7-year-old. He was nonverbal, but he could hear very clearly, but they've been searching for him for at least the last 2 or 3 days now. And the Randolph County Sheriff's Office just confirmed that his body was found in a pond. Here's a picture as we come back here to the W Area Live Center of first responders this morning as they gathered, likely after Liam's body was found. The Randolph County Sheriff's Office, they are...
No, this is not when the body was found. This is them. This was something that they posted hours before. Okay. Like this was hours before they found that baby boy. Okay. This is hours before they discovered that boy. Because they posted this and said, hey, we are out looking for him. This is day 3. We're looking for him. We're still trying to, boots on the ground type stuff. You know what I mean? So no, this is them just coming together and getting ready to plan for their search. So it's not entirely correct as far as I'm concerned, because I'll show it to you right now. Okay. Let's see. Blamo. This is the post that they posted. Okay. Update on the search efforts. Okay. Our agency, along with partner agencies, organizations, and community volunteers, continues to actively search for Liam, the missing child. Every available resource is being used, and we are committed to bringing him home safely. So this is them putting out the information and saying, yo, we're looking. And this is the briefing for this morning, right? A photo showing that they're all getting together, coming up with the game plan for the day, and they're about to go get out there and get after it, right? And so that's it. So that's not entirely correct, but it's fine. It is what it is, right? They got their timeline a little off, but it is what it is, right? Yeah, it's Joyce, exactly, on YouTube. Joyce, exactly. It's like a command center. They're all coming together. And they're going, okay, we're going over here. We're going over there. I got you going down here. Blah blah blah. And then, all right, guys, get your coffee. Let's get after it. Let's find the boy. So, yeah. Let's continue. Post the link for the upcoming. Thank you. Ease peas. What? Well, ease. I'll just say that. Ease. Thank you so much. I'll go to that. I was about to say what? I'll go back over there. Upcoming. There it is. So they do have a press conference ready to go, propped up and ready to go. And apparently it's supposed to be happening they have a timer and it says it's supposed to be happening in about a little over 7 minutes from now. So we're going to wait. We're going to wait and see. We got some time. Here's the thing. Okay. Here's a little bit of a left turn. All right. But somebody was just asking about it in the chat. I did post an article. I did write a little post about this particular case that I do want to talk about because it's insane. Okay, it's insane. But a mother was dropping off her son to his school, to his elementary school in Chicago. She suddenly gets into a heated argument with her ex-boyfriend, who happens to be the father of her child, and his new girlfriend, who happens to be the mother of his other child. They get into some heated argument. It starts going into a fight. Suddenly, the boyfriend puts this woman, Ramika Meeks is her name, into a headlock. And his new girlfriend, also the mother of his his other child, pulls out a weapon, pulls the trigger, point blank range in her face. Of course, she's taken to the hospital, and of course, she passes away. What's even more insane about this is that the woman who actually is the one who pulled the trigger said that she had a restraining order on Ramika. Think about that for a second. She claimed that this was self-defense. She said that she had to conceal and carry, that she had the right to do this, that this was self-defense. But what's even more insane is that she stuck around at the scene. It's not like she fled the scene. She was standing right there, calmly on the phone, talking to somebody on the phone after she had done what she did. So now this young boy, has no mom. And what's even more insane is that she posted something online on Instagram where she was, she writes little letters to her son, and she puts them in his lunchbox. I guess that she does this quite a bit. I don't know if she does it daily, but she was like, hey, today's Monday. Today's an opportunity to really make, the week amazing, to start off the week right and all that stuff. And now that kid who had a doting and loving mother does not have that anymore because of whatever BS drama that was going on between these two women and this guy standing in the middle of it. Now, it's a case that I haven't gotten a chance to talk to you guys about because it was something that I was preparing, and then this news dropped about Liam. But it is something I am going to talk about because it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And again, like I said, you have a mom that seemed like she was a good woman, had a child with a trashy human being of a father, or a trashy human being of a man, that enjoyed and appreciated the toxicity that was going on between his current girlfriend and his old girlfriend, who clearly had, from what we're gathering, had moved on, was living her life, making the best out of her life. And I don't know. It is pretty insane. But this all happened in Chicago yesterday. Yeah. No, the press conference hasn't happened yet. We got 3 minutes until it actually starts. But that's insane, right? Trying to make her life better, trying to make her life great, trying to be a good mother, because the boyfriend was not a good father. But he was sitting there instigating this toxic relationship between these two women. Now, explain this to me. You have the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, I'm sorry, and his new girlfriend, also the mother of his child, another child, showing up to his ex-girlfriend's son's school. You have a restraining order on Ramika. So why would you be showing up on school grounds to a school that your kid doesn't even matriculate at if you have a restraining order on that particular person? Make it make sense. It just doesn't make sense. But this is true. This is a true story. She was standing right there watching this girl literally leak out on the ground, on the phone, speakerphone, having a conversation. There's video all over Facebook. It's being shared all over Instagram too. It's insane. And she's like, no, that was self-defense. Huh? Self-defense? Your man put his ex-baby mama in a what did I say? I forgot the word. Put her in a chokehold, basically. Where's the self-defense? And then you pulled out a weapon, a headlock. Thank you. I don't know why that just left me. Thank you, Tipsy. You put that woman in a headlock. Your man, your now man, did that. And you're saying this is self-defense? You came to her. And apparently she allegedly, the woman who actually pulled the trigger, okay? Apparently she put up on her social media saying something about some days you just want to unalive somebody. But of course she deleted that as soon as all this stuff went down. But she's claiming it was self-defense. She went and found trouble. You realize that, right? She went and found trouble. She showed up to that kid's school. She didn't have to show up at that school. Why did she show up at the school? Why did they both show up at the school? Why not, if you have some beef with her, why weren't you doing this in front of her home? Or you see what I'm saying? Why go to the school grounds? Or actually, why even run into the person in the first freaking place when you have a restraining order on that person? Make it make sense. Yes, baby daddy was behind all that. Absolutely. He probably loved how messy it was. Press conference is going to be happening here shortly. Just want to share or show you guys. Okay. Once it gets started, we'll get it on and popping. Okay. But we're still waiting. Okay. Just so you guys know. But yes, that is a case that I wanted to share with you guys, talk to you guys about, of course. And then, of course, there's the Irina Zarutska case, which is insane as well. Okay, Ukrainian refugee leaving work, going on to the subway, and then she's brutally attacked by this maniac who is a repeat offender who should have been locked up, should have been stayed locked up. It's just, we live in a wild time. But then that's my problem with this whole thing. We have these repeat offenders doing these things over and over and over and over and over again. And they don't, and the system, okay, the system doesn't look at it and go, wait a second, why is this person even allowed to be out here? He should have already been locked up. But you notice it's the same thing with the Emmanuel Hotto case, right? It's the same thing as the Emmanuel Hotto case. That's insane. You got somebody who's a repeat offender. You got somebody who's doing something egregious, is what he did to Promise, okay, to his own daughter, 10-month-old daughter. He should have been locked up. He should have been locked up and not been able to have a child like Emmanuel Hotto. He should not have even been blessed enough to have that child. But he was let out because of the damn system. Same thing as that Irina Zarutska situation. That mother lover should have been locked up. Should have been locked up, but he was out and he was able to do what he did. And I'm going to tell you this. It is not a race thing. I know. I already know some of y'all gonna be like, I can't believe you said that. No. I said 10 months. I'm sorry, it's 10 weeks. Okay. Sorry, 10 weeks. Thank you so much, Joanna. On Promise, okay? On Promise's case, what that man did to that kid, to that little kid. 10 weeks. That's insane, right? What he did to that 10-week-old girl, he should not be out here being able to even have children. But then you see something like this with the Irina Zarutska situation, right? What the hell? Repeat offender. It's not a race thing, guys. But I know certain angles are out here trying to spin it, trying to turn it into a thing, trying to turn it into a race thing. It's not. This is showing us how weak and messed up our legal system is, how the criminal system is jacked up, and how we have somebody who has been a repeat offender, violent repeat offender, is able to get back out in these streets, suddenly hear voices, pull out a weapon, and do what he did to that young woman. But that's not what's happening right now. The powers that be are trying to spin this into something else, trying to make it about race. It's not that. But because it's a black man doing this to a white woman, they're taking this and they're trying to spin it into something that it doesn't even need to be. We need to look at the problem. And the main problem is that we have somebody who should have been locked up, should not have been able to go out there and do what he did. If they actually were able to keep that man behind bars, then that young woman, Irina Zarutska, would still be on this planet. And I think judges, because Lori just said, I saw judges in the corner of my eye. I think judges need to be a lot more harsh. That's what I think too. Beverly, I don't know where the press conference is. I guess they're still trying to put the things together. We're still waiting. Let's be patient. Okay. They're trying to get as much information as they can. Okay. I'm sure it's going to be happening anytime now. And when it does, we will be listening. They're just playing music. Okay. And it says stream will begin soon. So we're waiting. Okay. Let's just be patient. They just found the baby boy. They're trying to get all the information as they can. I'm sure they're trying to get all media in one room at the same time as well. So let's just be patient. Okay. But like I said, that case, absolutely insane as well. But it's beyond the race situation. But there are going to be people, corners of the world, that are going to try to spin that and get mad because they're like, it's racist. He's a black man. He's doing it to the white woman. And hold on. Time out. No. This is a man who lost his mind, who has a violent history, a violent mental health history, mental health issues, and a violent history that has not been properly reprimanded and incarcerated properly for his previous and past crimes. That's the problem. But we see this countless times over and over and over again. We've seen it. We've seen it, guys. Countless times. In various races, various ages, etc. That's why I bring up Emmanuel Hado's case. Jake Hado, Jake the fake, should have been locked up. They should have locked him up and threw away the key for what he did to Promise in the first doggone place. But he got out in 6 months and then did a suspended sentence, basically, and did his 4 years probation, and he still violated his probation when he got out. Some of these criminals are not going to change. That has nothing to do with race. Evil wears many faces. Let me say that again. Evil wears many faces, dagnabbit. But unfortunately, this is why it's frustrating, because as soon as we have something like this happen, like the Irina Zarutska situation, there are certain powers that be. There are certain corners of the world that try to take this and spin it into something else. They are out here going, we need to be out here demonstrating why he's locked up. He's in prison right now, or he's in jail right now, and he's going to look at some serious time for what he did. If not, see the DP, possibly, for what he did. But they're like, oh, we need to be rioting out in these streets. For what reason? Maybe to talk about the justice system being jacked up. I'm with that. I'm with that 100%. But this is totally different. This person is locked up now. What he did, God, should not have happened. But if you want to go out there and talk about how the judicial system is jacked the F up, let's go. Demonstrate all day long. Because these particular criminals, some of these criminals are getting lucky. They're getting very lucky. They're slipping right through the cracks, y'all. Or these judges are going, you know what? I'm in a good mood today. I'm going to give you another chance. No, I know you just almost damn near ripped the woman's head off, but it's all good. I know your heart's in the right place, sir. I know your heart's in the right place. So I'm going to give you a chance again, sir. Okay. Yeah, you're going to have a suspended sentence. All right. But then as soon as you come out, you're going to find God. You're going to find Jesus. You're going to find a good way of living life, find a good job and all that, right? You're going to do that? And they're like, yeah, yes, Your Honor. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Your Honor. Anything. As long as I can get out as soon as possible. And then they get out. And then what happens? They do it all over again. Emmanuel Haro, that particular man that did that monster that did that to Irina. Come on now. Let's be real. The system is jacked up and they need to figure it out as soon as possible. Here's the press conference, guys.
Okay, we'll get started. I think it's 2:30. I want to thank you, the press, for coming and reporting this, getting it out to the public. It helped out quite a bit. But this is not the outcome that we expected. We discovered Liam King's body at 10:15 this morning in a pond located approximately a tenth of a mile from where he was staying at. The body's going to be sent to Chapel Hill medical examiner's office to be examined and to determine cause of death. And I want to thank the community for their outpouring of support, meals, water. We couldn't ask for any better support from the neighbors and citizens down in that area, the businesses in southern Randolph County that supported us. The number of volunteers that showed up that were experienced in search and rescue. We had them all the way from New Hanover County. And, that's what it's all about, sheriffs helping sheriffs in a time of need. And I wish we had positive information to give you, but hopefully we can learn something from this and be better next time. Our goal was to find him alive, and we did not achieve that goal. I want to thank all the people behind me that spent most of the last 50 hours working either at the airport or at our command bus on Forest Hills Drive. I will open it up for any questions that you may have.
Sheriff, we're sounding pretty emotional over there. Can you speak to that?
Anytime you deal with a child, you know, you become somewhat emotional. You know, we all have kids. I've got grandkids, and you put yourself in that position. And, you know, this child had a life to live, and it was taken away from him. And I know he's in a much better place now, though.
Is there any sort of reason to believe there was any foul play involved in this, or is it confirmed that he did wrong?
We're in the process of investigating that at the present time. We're not going to rule it out. We're going to check and make sure that everything's good with the body, and the medical examiner will do a thorough investigation, examination of Liam's body.
And around how long?
It will take several weeks.
Several weeks before we have more information.
Can you give us any more information on that? Who was he visiting?
Yeah, who was it?
Liam was with his mother's boyfriend at the time, and the boyfriend actually lived at that residence, and he was overseeing the child during that period when he disappeared.
Was he alone?
It was the boyfriend?
Was the mom there too, or was he alone?
No, the mom was at another location.
Who found him and what time exactly was he discovered?
The body was found approximately 10:18 this morning a.m. by Brunswick County Search and Rescue.
Can you confirm if Liam was found in the same pond you were talking about yesterday that you guys were working to drain?
No, this was a different pond. The first pond was a priority for us due to the location of it. It was on the property or closest to the property where he was at. And it gave us a red flag that he could possibly be in that pond. You know, after searching it, draining it, we moved on to the next pond.
How many miles away was that from?
It was approximately 1/10 of a mile away from the residence.
Was that an area he frequented with his family, friends?
He had been there a couple of times.
Oh boy.
Can you explain to us, just for people who don't know this area, just how many ponds are in that little area?
Oh boy. This is
You know, we're a farming
crazy
community here in Randolph County, and you know, there's ponds that I never knew existed in that area until we started walking, and you would find ponds located here and there. Looking at GIS, it gives you a better understanding of just how many farm ponds are in Randolph County. Quite a few.
And hearing this from
This is insane.
You were saying that they were frustrated that they weren't able to go out and help search. Can you just help us inform our viewers of why it was so important that it was law enforcement led?
As I stated in the last press conference, you know, the best thing they could do to help the citizens was to check their own property in that area. And, you know, this Liam was found on someone else's property. We did not want people that were not trained to come in and tamper with evidence, even disrupt evidence that could be used for further investigation down the road if we needed it. And that would, you know, you've got people that are untrained that don't know really what to look for. And that's why we had trained individuals go out initially and look at all the possible places he could possibly be.
What kind of evidence were you looking for?
Anything in this type case, from clothing, lost shoe, just any indication of the direction in which he may have been traveling.
I know we're still early in this investigation, but could we expect charges against the boyfriend?
We will have to, we're at the very beginning of the investigation, and we will have to look at everything, take all the evidence for the district attorney, and go from there. It's too early to say.
There's a program called Project Lifesaver that's implemented in Wake County. It provides bracelets to kids who have cognitive impairments for a place to be able to track them. Is that something you guys could possibly implement in the future, or plan to implement something like that in case this does occur in the future?
That would be very helpful to us. We have that same program with dementia patients here in Randolph County. And, it would be very helpful. It would lead us straight to that person. And Liam was not subject to doing this, on a consistent basis. So I don't know if he would be eligible or, I guess, warranted to have a bracelet. I could see where if a child does that quite often, it would help us quite a bit in finding, locating that person.
And how would you go about implementing a program like that in the future?
We would look at it. The first thing is knowledge. I want to get someone to come in and talk to us about. I learned a lot, and we all learned a lot about dealing with the cognitive decline, the person who we think is slow, but they're really not slow. They're smart, and we want to learn as much as we possibly can about the condition he had. And there's a program that is circulating in the state of North Carolina now that offers that, and we're talking neighboring sheriffs about having that program come to us, and where we could sit down and learn more about autism.
You know which parent was the primary caretaker for Liam?
I do not know.
Do you know if his father was involved in any way in his life, or was he?
I think he is, yes.
Have you spoken to the family? How are they doing?
They're, tore up, as you might could imagine.
Yeah.
The mother is, she was out there every minute of that search time, and she's doing as any mother would do, coping with it minute by minute. And just pray for her, pray for the family, and pray for these people behind me. They're the ones that pulled him out of the pond. They're the ones that had to put aside their normal daily activity of being with their family to deal with this. They're the heroes that I look up to each and every day.
Yeah.
It was near the edge, and we had checked that pond before initially, and there was nothing. We did not locate the body.
Wait a sec. That's weird.
Was there any evidence that maybe he had been wandering around these past few days and then just ended up there, or did it seem like maybe he had been there the whole time?
Well, it appeared to our investigators that he went to the first pond that we tracked him with GPS, the phone ping. It showed that he was at that pond, and then went down a main logging road, and that logging road ended up at this pond. And, that was a 1/10 of a mile from
I'm
the
wondering,
house. Approximately 700
Yeah.
feet, maybe a little over.
Yeah.
He had a phone, but it did not operate a lot of the times. We did try to use it, the technology that we have to ping his location, and we utilized that to put us at the first pond. That's why that first pond was very important for us to look at and search.
Interesting.
Confusion with some people who obviously are not here and doing the investigation online. Whenever you learned of his disappearance, you saw the GPS where he was located. You started at the pond, correct?
We started in the house where he originally was, and we searched every bit, and then we continued outside and did a perimeter search of the outside, and it led us to the pond.
Do you have a final message for our viewers?
No, I just want to say that thank you for your support, Randolph County citizens. They're the best, and I want to thank these men and women behind me for putting their family to the side and going to help someone else's family. That's what it's all about. Just continue to pray for the King family because they will need it.
Some suspicious, y'all.
You mentioned that it was Brunswick County. Of course, they're coastal county. They're not close to here. Was there something about
Sus, y'all.
technology that brought to that helped lead to that discovery?
No, I don't think it had anything to do with the expertise. That was their next area to search. And, I think anybody trained in search and rescue would have found the body.
Can you confirm, was the mom, boyfriend, and the father of Liam a part of the search efforts, and were there any other family members who came out?
We communicated with them throughout the search. But as far as them participating in it, no.
And he did not have a history of wandering away.
No.
Okay. Do you know what the boyfriend was doing at the time that he left the house?
Good question. What was
That
the
will be
boyfriend
part
doing?
of our investigation.
Oh, come on. You don't know that yet? Come on, son.
Can you share more just about, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but just curious about the other jurisdictions that came in, what kind of resources they were able to bring in? I know there were some dive teams, different things like that. Can you just kind of elaborate on that?
We had technology from drones, airplanes. We had SBI airplane. We had our airplane that we have. We have helicopters. Highway Patrol had their helicopter. Brunswick County brought their helicopter. We had infrared,
They used everything.
sonar for underwater rescue.
Try to find this boy.
And dive teams from all around the state, search and rescue teams. And is there anything else?
Hell yeah, this is frustrating. Classic.
But we had an outpouring of support. And, my phone is loaded with messages wanting to come and help. And, when something bad happens in a community such as this, it brings the community together. Going out and trying to help this family with their problem. And that's what it's all about.
Do you know what time he actually went missing to when you got the call that he had been missing?
That's still in the investigation phase of it.
So you can't tell us that either. Damn. Come on.
What throughout this experience do you think the sheriff's department learned? Like, was there any equipment that you think would have benefited in your search that might be get anything equipment to get more, just like in general for search and rescue? What did you learn?
Well, Scott, the first thing is phone service in that area. We had none. And we had to get with emergency operations, state emergency management, and they helped us with the system that is used. We used out west some time ago for phone service. We're in the process of purchasing that here, I think, with Randolph County Emergency Management. We just haven't received it yet. So we acted with, I guess, the best way we could with the phone service being the way it was, and we quickly got it up and working much quicker than I thought we would. And but working with the state and federal folks, they said we did a great job. You know, we don't do this but once every 4 or 5 years, and it seemed like we didn't have any bad critiques from it, other than not locating Liam before he went to the pond.
State resources, was that FirstNet that you were responding to, you were referring to?
It was
FirstNet, Starlink, and Verizon. Did your Viper resources work out? Did you bring up any Viper interoperability to help with that? We did, but I think Captain Grady can probably speak to that better.
Evan Grady, Randolph County Emergency Management. So we did bring in a specialist that is trained through the state North Carolina Emergency Management System to help deal with communication issues, failures, shortcomings. So he, through Chatham County, brought some equipment, a trailer, some cellular data equipment, and Starlink equipment to boast what we could in that vicinity. As the sheriff said, the site presented a lot of issues with connectivity, and we did the best we can by bringing in that resource. Emergency management, our goal is to bring in resources that we don't have currently or that we need, and other mutual aid departments or other state agencies might have. So the liaison is the emergency management, working closely with the sheriff's office, helping to identify needs of the responders on scene and getting those here as quickly as possible. That was very effective in this case, from manpower to equipment to food. The process worked very well.
Sheriff, you mentioned the emergency side of this, and I'm just wondering what kind of support is available for those responders and volunteers who kind of invested themselves emotionally and had this unfortunately tragic outcome.
Yeah. Back in 2018, when I started as a sheriff here, we started a peer support team, which is a group of individuals that are trained and also work alongside you day to day, that can counsel you, that can look and see if there's any inconsistencies with your behavior after seeing something like this or experiencing something like this. So we're here helping each other, and that will continue throughout the next year, I'm sure. This is one of the longest search and rescues we've ever had here in Randolph County.
Do we think that he would have been found sooner if the service was better out there, since he did have the phone on him? Do we know if that was like an issue with him?
No, I don't think phone service played a huge part. We were there. We would have done, even if we had grade A phone service, we would have done what we did initially. And I don't think it would play a part, no.
Just to get some clarification, had that pond that he was found in, had that already been searched?
Yes, it had. We had went around it and used sticks along the side, and we did not locate the body. Any other questions? I want to thank you personally. I know y'all spend a lot of time down there.
Something weird.
I appreciate it. And anytime you deal with death of a child, you've got to handle it very tactfully. And you guys and girls did a great job doing that. So thank you.
Okay. 1 second, guys. I just want to hear something. I need to hear what they said about the pond, the search of the pond. Stick with me, guys. I'm going to explain everything in just a minute. I just want to hear him confirm and explain that a little bit more, because I think a lot of us, even myself, I'm going, what? That doesn't make any sense. Now, before we go in everything, and let me just give a little context, okay? This is weird, okay? And Stephanie, the reason why I was talking with no sound, it was because I was addressing people who are following on TikTok. So I mute the microphone so I could talk to other people on TikTok, because people can't hear on TikTok what we're watching. So I'm giving them brief summaries as the press conference moves on. But something he said here, and of course, I think is interesting. He said that they previously searched the pond that he was actually found in. So they went, they searched the pond, did not find Liam. Then they circled back and searched that pond one more again, and that's when they found Liam. Could so many different possibilities here, okay, with that piece of information, right? That's why I was like, what? Well, that's weird. That's sus as hell. That's suspicious. It could be something. It could be nothing. But let me hear what he has to say, because he explains it. I'm so glad that reporter asked for more clarification on the going back to that pond a second time and then finding him there, okay? And yeah, they say he was closer to the edge of the pond when he was found. But he says something here, like they use sticks to try to, I guess they were poking in the water to see if they can find him. And then they didn't find him. That was what they did the first time. So I wonder what they did the second time then. Same thing? Or did they go into the pond and immerse themselves in the pond to find him in the pond, right? So again, that's interesting. All right. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Where Summer, that is weird. But let's just hear what he has to say one more time. And then, like I said, I'm going to explain everything in a second, okay? And of course, Portugal on TikTok, you can go over to my channel. The YouTube channel is called The Pascal Show, I'm sorry. You can hop on over there, check it out. We're not watching this whole thing. I'm just watching this one clip because I want some clarification. And then I'm going to break down to you guys what they just said in this press conference. So hold on, let me just rock and roll here.
I don't think it would play a part, no.
Just to get some clarification, had that pond that he was found in, had that already been searched?
Yes, it had. We had went around it and used sticks along the side, and we did not locate the body.
But
any other questions?
See, but the problem is that then what did you do the second time around that got you to find Liam the second time around? Did you put divers in the pond? Did you drain that pond? That's the thing that I'm curious about, because they say that it was two different ponds. So somebody said in the chat, okay, on YouTube, somebody said in the chat that the pond, that a pond, like YouTubers were saying that a pond was drained. Yeah, they said that they drained a pond. Yeah, that's true. Okay, they did say that. But what's interesting is that they said, so there must have been two ponds that they went to, because they explained that. There was one pond in one area, and then there was another pond in a different area. So they think that this young boy walked all the way down, like walked down the street a little bit and went to this other pond. So they drained a pond. They just didn't drain the pond, from my understanding, that they found him in. Okay. So that's interesting. So a couple takeaways. All right. It's not a whole lot of takeaways. The only few things that there's only a few takeaways in this situation, okay? Let me make this abundantly clear. They found him in another pond. So they must have been draining one pond while they were over in another area, putting sticks in the pond to see if anything might come up. And then they found him. But here, let me tell you what they said. So of course he was found. He was found a 1/10 of a mile from where he was reported missing. They asked, and I'm so happy that media asked the questions, reporters asked the question, okay? They said, hey, whose home was this? Because we heard that it was a family member, right? That he was at a family member's home. And apparently he was unattended. He was unsupervised for several minutes at this family friend's home or family member's home. Now, the sheriff just confirmed that that home was actually his mom's boyfriend's home. One thing that they're still trying to find out is what was the boyfriend doing when this kid went missing. All right. That's one piece that's weird. The other part, they said, which I'm just circling back again about the pond. They went by, and the second time they went and searched that pond, that's when they found that boy. That's when they found Liam. That's weird. We're going to talk about that in a second. But they said, Mom, the mother of Liam, was not at that house when he disappeared. Here's another thing they said. The mom said he doesn't have a history of just getting up and running off. As we just learned, eloping. He's not known to just elope. That's very out of character for him. But he randomly ran off this time. At least this is what is being said right now. At the property of his mom's boyfriend. Let me tell you again. Mom was not there when he went missing. That's at least what's being said. He was in a different pond, and he was found in a different pond. Now, yes, all of this could sound suspect, right? All of it sounds suspect. It could literally just be a terrible series of events that led to the tragic demise of this 7-year-old boy. We have to leave that on the table, guys, because police are still doing their due diligence. They still can't give us any information on what the boyfriend was doing during the time that Liam went missing. He could have been passed out asleep. He could have been, or it could be something sinister. We don't know. But there's an investigation going on right now as we speak. Now, let's talk about this pond thing. We're going to talk about the boyfriend and the possibilities of the boyfriend here in just a minute. But let's talk about the thing. Let's address the elephant in the room that seems a little bit weird. Okay? They circled by that pond not once but 2 times. And in the second time, they found that baby boy. First time they went around and they were just poking sticks in the pond, which is an interesting approach for searching for a kid, a missing child. But nonetheless, he was like, yeah, we were poking sticks in the pond to see what we could find. We found nothing. Then we came back. We circled back around this morning and we found him. They say that he was close to the edge of the pond. That can mean a multitude of different things. That could mean either he was placed in there or he really just fell in there. That's still a possibility. It is interesting that they use sticks to poke on the edge of the pond to try to find him with no luck the first time. Interesting, right? So there's that. But here's the thing. It's a couple possibilities. Either this kid walked in there accident happened, like he fell in, or someone dropped him in there, placed him in there later, and then he was found. Because it's weird that you go around, you're poking, you find nothing. The next day, you poke around and you find him. Seems a little bit weird, but weirder things have happened, right? So there's that. Now let's talk about the boyfriend. We don't know who the hell the boyfriend is. We don't know the story. We don't know his background. Okay, I don't know. First time I'm hearing it about a boyfriend, right? Because I was wanting to know who was the family friend, right? Or the member of the family type thing, right? It could be an auntie, that could be an uncle, that could be a grandfather, it could be anybody. But now we find out that it was his mom's boyfriend's crib. And he was unattended for several minutes. Now, here's the thing. This is the part that really aggravates me, because when it comes to something like this, why would you? I don't know. If you have a cognitively impaired, nonverbal, autistic son, and you're trusting a boyfriend to watch your nonverbal, cognitively impaired son, autistic son, sorry. That's a little odd, right? Forget foul play. Let's put foul play on the table. We're just going to table it. We're going to put it on the side of the, we're going to put it on the side, right? It's still here. We're going to look at it in a second. But just at face value, you have a child that needs full attention, cognitively impaired, nonverbal, autistic son. Are you just, and I don't know how long they've been, this woman's been dating this boyfriend and all that, but would you still trust a boyfriend to watch your cognitively impaired, autistic, nonverbal son? Now, like I said, I get it. Like, I don't know their relationship. I don't know this boyfriend. This boyfriend could be an amazing boyfriend, getting along great with Liam, right? But you still are not at the residence at all while this kid goes missing. And he's unattended. He's unattended to for several minutes. Weird, right? It's a little weird, right? Now, unattended for several minutes could be a multitude of things. Could have gone in to go take a dump. Could have been had to grab something like a phone call, answer an email. I don't know. Could be a million different things. It's at the end of the day, I'm going, why outside though? Why is this kid outside? Why not bring him in, lock the door, sit him down, and be like, I'm gonna be like, if you really need to go, you know what I mean? If you really need to use a bathroom, sometimes it's a bathroom. It's a bathroom break. It's more than a moment sometimes. Okay. Why wouldn't you bring him in, sit him down, turn on the TV, whatever he likes, right? While you go do the business, or while you go and pick up that phone call, or send out that email, or make that food, whatever it may be that causes you to have to be away from him outside. That's the part that just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, it could very well be that this boyfriend made a very dumb, tragic mistake. It could be that, or it could be something worse. It could be something worse. Like I said, we're going to pick up the speculation. We're going to pick up that piece. But the mom left this little boy with her boyfriend, and she was off somewhere else. They have not disclosed that part, where she was. Where did she go off to? She could have been picking something up for a friend. She could have been off to work. God only knows. But the boyfriend had the responsibility of watching that little boy. And that little boy somehow got himself outside and was unattended to for several minutes. At least that's what they're saying. It's weird. I know a classic, I think a lot of us want to side eye, but I kind of want to know more before I officially side eye. There are some things, there's some very, very questionable things that are popping off here that I think all need to be asked. Of course, they said that he apparently there was a cell phone. Okay. Yeah, 1/10 of a mile. 1/10 of a mile from where he was reported missing. That could mean several different things, like he walked down there, fell in, and that's a tragic thing, or this person went and somebody moved him in there, right? Yeah. It's not a super long, far away. You know what I'm saying? But it's a distance nonetheless. So again, like I said, something seems strange. Now, spotty service with his phone does not automatically equal foul play. It just means spotty service for his phone. Now, if I got that correct, if I got this correct, his phone was on his person. Was his phone on him? Did Liam, when Liam was found, was his phone with him? I didn't catch that part. But nonetheless, rightfully so, we should be asking questions. Now, why does this child have a phone? That might have been, Kristen, on YouTube, that might have been the way of them just keeping an eye on him, just in case if he was to wander. He might have that as a form of entertainment to calm him down. He has TV shows that he likes. He has music that he likes. Maybe it was a situation where, they go to an event, they go to a place, and he needs to be entertained, and she can't, mom or dad can't be right next to him the entire time. They might sit him down, pull out his phone, and let him use that phone, play his video games, play on his phone while they're doing God knows what. That could be a coping mechanism for him, so that he's not, maybe he lashes out. You never know, right? That might be the thing that they use to calm him down, right? So that's just something we have to think about. And then, of course, keeping it on, because you never know. He might wander off, right? He might, as we learned earlier today, he might elope. That's still possible, right? So yeah, y'all. I mean, like I said, I got questions, but it's a very strange piece of information, right? It's not like he had air tags. They could have done air tags on it, sewn them into his, like you just said on TikTok, sew it into the tongue of his shoe or something of that sort. That could be it too, right? Yes, they pinged his phone at the, thank you. That's what it was. They pinged his phone at the first pond. So he must have walked, if this is no foul play, which is still a possibility, which is a strong possibility, guys, that there's no foul play here. His phone, thank you, Jessica. So they pinged his phone at the first pond. So he may have walked over to the first pond, then ventured over to the second pond, and maybe this time got a little too close, fell in. Or, this is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound crazy, but we gonna rock with it. All right, just ride with me. This may be absolutely asinine, but just rock with me. It could be the real deal. It could be nothing. Or, okay, this is just a theory, conspiracy theory. Hear me out. Or he ventured out there to the first pond. Boyfriend got mad. Lashed out or something. And then maybe placed this baby boy in the other pond, away from the pond in his backyard. That's what I'm thinking. That maybe the boyfriend, again, that is just tinfoil hat moment. And if there is a full-on whatever, right? What if he got mad? Lost his cool. You know what I mean? Lashed out on him. And then, damn, and then move the body. I know that sounds crazy, but what if? And then body was found in the other pond, not the pond that he originally pinged at. Now, I know I may sound insane, but I don't know. Okay. By the way, Debbie, what sponsorship? That's news to me. What sponsorship are you talking about? What sponsorship? But thank you for the congratulations, even though I don't know what sponsorship that is. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, that is just the theory that I have. Again, it could be something real. Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. I didn't know I had a advertising pop-up, but that's what's up. Thank you, I guess. You know, it's YouTube. They just pop those things up. I have no control over that. That's just what they do. But and thanks for the heads up. I appreciate it. But here's the thing. Now, it could be nothing or it could be something. But I will say all of this, when it comes to cases like this, where there's some strange funkiness, you know, that could turn into potential speculation, potential suspicion, this definitely has that. But I will say, I have to urge you guys to step back and let police do what they need to do. Of course, I would love to know and understand what was going on the day and the moment that this boy went missing, because it just doesn't make sense. One moment that he's there and the next moment he's not there. Now, the whole circling back to that pond the second time and finding Liam in there, that could literally be what it was. Still doesn't mean that something sinister didn't happen to him. But it does mean that there could have been a situation where they went over, checked it out, didn't feel him, and then they went back a second time, did a more thorough search the second time around, and that's when they found him. But that still doesn't mean how he got in that pond wasn't done in some sinister way. But it could also be a straight up accident, right? Yeah, you're not wrong with that either, Baby Doll 2 on TikTok. They said he could hear, but not to yell at him because he would run. Maybe that's what happened. You never know. You never know. Maybe boyfriend lost his cool. You know, with all due respect, it's not his own kid. Okay. He was dating the guy, the boy's mom. Maybe he had no patience and lashed out. Kid got upset and ran. That could be it too. Yeah, Kristen. It just caused him to bolt, right? Get back over here. What are you doing? You know what I mean? That could be it too, right? But again, it could be nothing. Like I said, we're just exercising every possibility. But right now is an ongoing investigation. One thing that I think is weird, but maybe it'll be explained later on. Mom was not there when this kid went missing. Mom was not there when this baby boy went missing. Deborah says he was in the house. See, I heard or I read reports that said that he was seen outside the house. He was seen outside the house. In fact, let's just pull it up. Let's see. Boom. Okay. Yeah, I get okay. Maybe you are right. Maybe he was inside the home, which is even weirder. But it says right here. Well, and this is the other thing too. This wasn't at his home because he was at the mom's boyfriend's home. Okay, but they're saying that he was last seen around 11 a.m. at his home. And then officials said that he walked away from the area. So again, I got questions, y'all. I got questions. But again, like I said, it could be nothing. It could be nothing at all. Yeah, I got a lot of questions, y'all. But again, this could be really something or it could really be nothing at all. Real talk. We have to leave it at that until police are able to do what they do. And bless mama, I'm curious about that too. How long has the mom been with this boyfriend? That's the other thing too, because that could create or that could give us a little bit more of an idea of what the dynamics were, right? Because if it was like a brand new relationship, right? You know, it's a brand new relationship, or they were together for a long time. It changes the dynamics of the possibilities. But again, like I said, and that's the thing. I thought I read somewhere, and that's why I'm trying to find that this young boy was seen outside. He wasn't inside. He was found outside before he disappeared. That's the thing. The one thing that I want to get more clarity on is that fact. Because if he was inside the home, was he known to unlock doors and just run out the freaking door like that? So again, yeah, like I said, I got questions, y'all. I definitely got questions. All right. See, and Kimmy on TikTok, maybe he was allowed to be in the yard. I mean, if the yard was like gated off and everything, I could see that. But if it's just an open field that just opens out to a wooded area, hail to the no. You bet not. You have a nonverbal, cognitively impaired, autistic boy who still has the possibility of just being a 7-year-old boy that just wants to be outside. Still, no matter what. Let's take out the fact that he is autistic, nonverbal, and cognitively impaired. Okay, push all those aside. Just think about a 7-year-old kid. 7-year-old kid. Are you letting your 7-year-old kid run around in the backyard of your home without fences, without some sort of border? All you got is open water, like ponds and stuff, and dense wooded areas. Are you going to let your 7-year-old out there all by themselves, unattended? No other kids are with them. No other parent is out there just, having a little smoke on the porch, watching the kids run around, right? Supervising the kids. None of that. You just have a 7-year-old kid, put all the other situations he got, the autism and all that, throw it over to the side. Are you really going to let a 7-year-old out there by their doggone self in unattended with no borders? Damn right, no way. That's insane. So again, that's insane and that's reckless. So again, if he was outside, oh damn, Nicole, why you doing us men like that? Oh snap. Oh snap. Oh my God, that is damn, Nicole. We ain't bad like that. Damn. Shots fired, Nicole. Damn. Okay, I see you. But here's the thing, okay? Outside of all of that, all right? No parent would allow that to happen, okay? No parent. Okay, I could see maybe a dude that doesn't have no kids, has no responsibilities of being a parent. Yeah, sure, I could see that happening. It's still dumb. It's reckless and dumb. I don't recommend that at all. It's dumb, okay? But any person that gives a damn about children, right? They're going to give a damn. They're going to care. They're going to supervise that kid. Doesn't matter how hungover you are, how tired you are. Doesn't matter if he's autistic, 4 years old, 7 years old. It doesn't matter. You're just not going to let that kid out there running around in a field by himself where there's no barriers that can hold him from running off to a body of water or running across the street and possibly getting hit by a car. I'm just saying all of those things, right? All those possibilities are very real and very scary. And whoever this boyfriend is, now I want to know why this kid was unattended. Why this kid was not supervised. Or did something else happen? Hold on. I just saw something and it disappeared. Where did it go? Sleuthy TV just said, didn't they drain the pond? They drained one pond. They were draining another pond that was nearby the residence, like in the backyard of the residence nearby. Then there was a second pond 1/10 of a mile away from the actual house where he was last seen. And like I said, he was last seen outside. I swear to God, he was last seen outside. And then 1/10 of a mile later, he's found in a second pond. I don't think that the pond that they found him in was drained. Because if it was drained, then they wouldn't have been using a stick to poke into the water trying to find him. Okay? So they drained one pond. So that is true. They drained one pond, but it was the wrong pond that they were draining. And those things happen. Those things do happen. Okay? And then they went across the street, down a little ways, went to the second pond and found him in there. Of course, that was after their second time searching that pond. Does that mean that the kid was placed there later? It's possible. I don't see it that way. I think that he was in there the entire time. They just weren't thoroughly checking that pond until the second time they went there. Okay? So, yeah. Oh, so terrible. So terrible. So terrible. And I really want to know what's going on with this boyfriend and this home. What's going on with this boyfriend, and why was this boy outside by himself? Because he was outside. He was last seen outside, unattended. And here's the thing, too. Regardless if he was 70 years old or autistic or not autistic, you just don't leave children unattended out there by themselves. You just don't. It's common sense. And that has, it is even more common sense when you know for a fact that the kid that you're watching, yes, he may not be the fruit of your loins, okay? He may not be your biological child, but you know for a fact that that is still a life that is precious. So you're going to make sure that you are attending that child. Then on top of it, common sense even drops even harder, and it's even harder when you know for a fact that that kid is autistic and cognitively impaired and nonverbal. You don't leave a kid like that behind. You don't leave a kid like that unattended. I don't care if you have to drop the biggest deuce. I don't care if you really need to get in there and finish watching the game. I really don't care. If you're trying to make a sandwich, you bring the kid in. You sit him down. And if he's tripping, you find a way to calm him down. And then you go do what you need to do. But you don't do this. And that's what's so sad about this. That boyfriend has a lot of explaining to do for show. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really, really means a lot. Thank you so much. Okay. Do me a favor before we get going. Appreciate all y'all for being here. Again, do me a solid. Okay. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button. Please and thank you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And of course, if there's anything that happens on this case, we'll talk. I'll let you guys know. But it could literally be a tragic accident filled with some negligence here, or something sinister happened. We'll find out more information as we get to the nitty gritty. Okay. So don't forget to hit that follow button. Follow. Of course, subscribe, please, if you're watching on my YouTube channel, okay, or if you're watching on these other platforms, make sure you're following, follow, subscribe. Hit that notification bell, set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because right now it's random for what it's worth. All right, there's a lot of breaking news type stuff, so make sure you're doing that for me, please and thank you. Hit that join button down below, become a member. Check out my Patreon, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Check it out. We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Appreciate all y'all. And of course, if this needs to turn into a Justice for Liam King case, then we will be talking about it. All right. But may this young boy rest in peace. And hopefully we get more clarity on what actually happened to this baby boy. We'll be talking here soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.